Giggles are a silly, benevolent, and happy form of glaggle. They have slightly desaturated yellow color and have large oval eyes with a medium-sized, curvy mouth. Gigglers do not have a set form. They can come in a variety of sizes and shades of yellow. Gigglers form as a base for a good chunk of existing glaggles, although lots simply come from the genus Gigglers. Gigglers have an insatiable hunger for the seemingly unhealthy foods in Glaggleland. The body cannot intake fats and other unhealthy things in food. Instead, the body converts it into proteins and nutrients to boost the giggler more. Gigglers are known for their will to aid other glaggles and sometimes plants. Although they try, they are bad caring for animals. Gigglers can be most commonly found in Glaggleland and Florbopia, along with a few minor populations in Gazoland, Gembaland, and Globaland. Though the Globaland and Gembaland populations are steadily increasing, you can find gigglers selling their products to other gigglers. Occasionally, other species products include pillows, pins, and dishware. Gigglers can turn into sobbers when they
Infotions are malevolent creatures that work for Infozo. Their sole motivation appears to be to assist Infozo in wiping out the population of Glaggleland. They are in fact glaggles that have come in contact with Infosian goo, and as a result have been brainwashed into being invasive creatures to our world and started doing Infosian activities. Some of them help create the Infozo web and the Infosian Pyramid. They are known to sabotage rides, attempt to cause panic among glaggles, and spread misinformation. They have also been reported to infect glaggles and slowly convert them to fellow Infosians. As a glaggle is converted into an Infosian, they go through 4 stages. Stage 1. The glaggle has come in contact with Infosian goo. The glaggle is fine at first, but symptoms will start to manifest in a few minutes. Stage 2. This is the stage where symptoms begin to appear. Infected glaggles will notably have grayish eyes and mouth, and their skin also notably gets paler. They still retain their personality, consciousness, and memory though. Stage 3. The second to last stage. This is where things start to get worse. After 7 minutes, the glaggle's skin has turned gray and eyes turn a bright white. The glaggle is in severe pain and there is hardly any turning back at this point. The last stage, the glaggle has turned into an Infosian. They have black skin, have a ghastly white face, and is made of pure Infosian goo. Their old memory and consciousness has been wiped and replaced with a new one made to destroy glaggles. They will soon be escorted to the Infosian Pyramid. Infosians first started appearing back in May 7, 1998, just a few days before the Glaggleland massacre. Infozo then released Infosian goo in Glaggleland sewers as an indication that something bad is going to happen. Many were devastated as glaggles were starting to get infected by this black goo, causing them to turn into these weird black-skinned creatures that were hostile to normal glaggles. The estimated glaggles that were infected and turned into Infosians that day were estimated to be around 45-67. After the Infosian goo incident, Infosians were escorted back by Infozo to the Infosian Pyramid so they could come up with a plan for the now well-known massacre. Just after the Infosian goo incident, the massacre had begun. May 15, 1998, the massacre has caused thousands of deaths among the Glaggleland community. It was a devastating time for gigglers, gazos, gloobers, gembos, and all other glaggles, but not for Infozo and his Infosians. They were capturing, torturing, and murdering innocent glaggles that did nothing to them, and Infosians were helping Infozo torture those glaggles while they were doing inhumane acts to Glaggleland. Infosians have come up with a devious plan that will soon scar Glaggleland history forever. Jumbo's are a type of glaggle who traditionally inhabit southern Glaggeland and Jumboland. However, today they are a minority in all of Glaggeland. Jumbos are notable for being generally friendly but provocative threat. Jumbos are also known for being excellent at taking care of animals. And Jumboland is a wildlife-based park. Due to the Jumbo's strong and militaristic side, they have the highest enlistment percentage among the Glaggleland army by type of glaggle, with about 20% of Jumbos joining, making up 5% of the total army. The Jumboland army is also large, and in Jumboland they also have about 20% join rates. The appearance of a Jumbo is quite unique. It is usually a coral color and has a straight mouth with curved corners. The eyes are large and oval-like in shape. Jumbos have many different color variations, which will be mentioned down below. Does not include Glunga Jumbos 84%, Roll 16%, Cherry 0.1%, Melanistic 0.1%, Melanistic. The Jumbos historically inhabit Jumboland. Back then, only a small group of glaggles were joyous, the Jugglers. The Gigglers Jumbos existed in small tribes for around 1,000 years before they would be united under the Jumbo Empire by Clypeus the Great. Then Jumboland would be invaded by the Glaggle Empire, become joyous and be incorporated into the Glaggle Empire. The region of Jumboland will become in the Glaggle Empire due to insulating glamours, but this would end after the Glagglers would declare independence in a revolt. In the 1700s, many Jumbos would settle along the Glunga River and become Glunga Jumbos. When the Glaggle Empire collapsed, many Jumbos wanted independence, so they gained independence from Glaggeland. 7,000 would die during the Glaggeland massacre. Subspecies: Glunga Jumbo, 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 Glunga. Jumbos are some group of Jumbos that live around the Glunga River in Kluverland. They are descendants of Jumbos who settled there in the 18th and 19th centuries. The Glunga Jumbos have a culture similar to Jumbos, but have taken some cultural traits from Kluver's stone Jumbos. Some Jumbos are small, rocky beings who inhabit the caves of Jumboland. Trivia: Jumbos may possibly be the closest descendant to Paleologs due to similar behavior and a similar squishy texture. Some Jumbos are a bright red instead of coral. This is a common mutation. Jumbos seem to have more genetic variation for coloration than any other glaggle species. Jumbo's scientific name means joyful face care, because the genus where Jumbos comes from means joyful in Latin, and that Jumbos take care of animals. Studies have shown Glunga Jumbos are better at breathing underwater than other Jumbos, but not as good as Gluvers. Glunga Jumbos make up 6% of Gliverland's population, and 65% of the lands adjacent to the Glunga River. Stone Jumbos can be only seen in underground caves and rarely green hills outside at night.
Glagleland is a country similar to Glaggeland, not so land. Glagleland and Jumboland that revolves around skateboarding. It is predominantly people controlled for sparse amounts of glaggles every year, visiting occasionally. Glagleland's main difference between its other neighboring countries is that it is known for its love for skateboarding, as many skateboards can be seen scattered around Glagleland, with many glaggles enjoying around skateboarding. Despite being similar to its other neighboring countries, it has the weakest army when compared to its neighbors, but it's allies with Glaggleland and Glagleland to make the country more safe and secure. Glagleland has a large skiing and snowboarding community. Up on the mountains for snow plowing. Glagleland, there are quite the skateboards they have, and will be showcased in the section. Glagleparker, the Glagleparker known for its high ramps and steep falls beloved among the porters. It is quite small compared to other skate parks in Glagleland. Glagletastic Borders. The Glagletastic Borders is an annual contest hosted every year March 14 to celebrate the anniversary of Glagleland. The contest revolves around glaggles trying to create the best looking skateboard they could ever come up with, and the winner gets 45,500 Pindar and a lifetime supply of 5 foot for the club nuts. Trivia: Glagboard enthusiasts are nickname based on their experience, skill of skateboarding are free. Shown below, Cluckster, rookie, or a new skateboarder. Glorm, Bill, skilled, but has still a lot more to learn. Glagboard hardcore and knows pretty much everything about skateboarding, is very skilled. It's very skilled.
Gloopers are very similar to classic gigglers. They are happy and always really joyous. However, there are also some key differences. One of the most obvious is that Gloopers have green skin. Gloopers can have green skin ranging from sage green to lime green to forest green, but never any other colors such as yellow or blue. Gloopers also have the anatomy to breathe underwater. They live in Glooperland and Gleeberland. Gloopers are said to be very empty-headed and act more childish compared to a giggler. They are said to love swimming and often do cannonballs. Gloopers also own their own catchphrase, glootastic and gloobular, and are known as thrill seekers and like intense activities, also a bit loud. As mentioned on the short description of Gloopers on the Glooperland page, they are very good at crafting things and are skilled at riding water slides. They love doing extreme sports and are usually skilled at them, but can also be oblivious of danger leading to them getting injured. The president of Glooperland is Joy F. Sert. He's always seen wearing a hat. He makes the decisions and laws with the Congress's permission. He loves walking around Glooperland and riding their rides. He is very laid back and also has common interactions with his Glooperlandian citizens. He is very good friends with the Great Glag. His username is Joyful Carts Fan. Trivia. Some Gloopers are a darker and less saturated green. These are known as forest Gloopers and are named this way because most Gloopers who have this trait lie farther away from water and in places like forests. Some Gloopers live on mountains, which cause them to turn gray. These are deemed mountain Gloopers. All Gloopers are heavily allergic to lavender flowers. The scientific name of Gloopers means joyful silly or joyful fool, most likely because Gloopers are silly, and because the genus where Gloopers comes from means joyful in Latin. A video on Gloopers can be found here.
Are the terms of the juvenile form of gigglers. They can be born after a giggler does mitosis when in a relationship with another giggler. They are very playful and very fun. Mutilated global corpses were identified after the Glaggle massacre. Gigglers, gazos, and many other species love Gloobles. They are awesome little guys who love playing with their parents. Gloobles are similar to your standard gigglers. They are nice, happy, and outgoing. They are less intelligent than the average giggler, but they are very cute. They go through a process called giggle-googling, in which the glooble rapidly grows and goes through mood swings, or roughly a year. Giggle-googling is basically puberty for gloobles. After giggle-googling, a glooble will usually become a giggler, but they can become a variety of glaggle species, depending on what glaggle they spend the majority of their time. Giggle-googling may also keep their relationship with their parents. This still applies even if they become a different species, unless they become a sobber or an enthosian. Deaths. Huge spike of deaths during the Glaggle massacre. A death count was never properly made due to everyone who looked at the list becoming a sobber. Because of how terrible the situation was, the estimate was 82,000 based off the amount of bodies that have been found during the Glimper Age. Spike of disappearances. During March 2009, for an unknown reason, an estimated 120 Gloobles went missing that month, a truly awful event. Very recently, an Enversion gang were trying to kidnap Gloobles. They were successful about 61 or 5 times. 84 Gloobles died. Trivia. You can adopt Gloobles at the Gloodoom Adoption Center. Gloobles love thorn glog nuts. If you see a sad little Glooble, give it a thorn glog nut. You can make a Glooble happy by getting the Glooble their own room.
Sobbers are an uncommon glaggle mutation. They are the main inhabitants of Frowntown, a megalopolis that's almost completely devoid of fun, games, and happiness. They have no idea about the Glaggle massacre and spend their lives working in cubicles and sleeping. As the name suggests, they're always depressed. Usually they're pessimistic, lonely, and bored. If a giggler turns into a sobber, they usually hide their face so that they wouldn't be seen as an outcast. If they're exposed to enough fun and happiness and the like, they'll slowly slowly turn into a giggler. If a giggler spends too much time in Frown Town, they'll slowly turn into a sobber. Rather simple stuff, I reckon. There's also a stage in the middle of conversion, that being the mezzos aren't a part of the glaggle class, but they do have distinguishing features, those being a lime-colored skin tone, a completely straight mouth, and straight mouth ends. Side note, never breed. Sobbers and gigglers. Sobbers have amassed quite a bunch of misinformation regarding them and their homeland. First off, the old design. It was actually just a crappy, but downright bad artistic interpretation that went really viral. Some scientists debunked this by imagining themselves turning into a sobber and feeling their skulls warp along with their eyeballs turning square. Seriously though, imagine how painful that would be. Another fallacy was some goober insisting that they live in a place called Siberia. But this was recently debunked by local sea explorer Glistaflurk Globombus, who sailed in search of Siberia, ended up finding nothing. Yeah man, it's just not there man, was one of his quotes from an interview that has gained some popularity on the Infosaweb, where those Infosicians would mock him for wasting his own time. Some other doofuses then decided to go north and found Frown Town, which is the actual place the sobbers originating from. They took some pictures of the place, and a talented artist decided to draw the sobbers' real appearance, which is the image currently used. This is the city the sobbers originate from Town. They'll slowly turn into a sobber, just-turning machines instead of delicious candy stands, overcramped apartments instead of joyous hotels. And so on, Frown Town is located north of Glaggleland, just past the Blubber Forest. Frown Town has never had a whole lot of history, at least interesting stuff, and due to how cowardly sobbers are, it probably won't have much. The most interesting bit of Frown Town history is probably just that one time when the president sprayed deep-fresh and made some really good macaroni and cheese back in 1995. In conclusion, sobbers don't need to be depressed most of the time. They just need a little push to immerse themselves in the fun and games of Glaggleland.
Orgacs are an uncommon glaggle type despite not being related to glaggles. They are notorious for their constant grumpiness, deep red color, and large, slanted eyebrows. Orgacs are not joyous, and any attempts to participate in joyous fun with them will be frivolous. Not to be confused with the far friendlier but also red gembos. Orgacs have a similar appearance to gigglers, but they have thick, slanted eyebrows, very large, circular eyes, and skin that ranges from red to deep maroon. They are constantly frowning, and they have no mouth ends. Orgacs are very mad creatures. They are hostile, but they can be if you provoke them. They always complain about stuff and are known to yell, usually about once every 4 hours. They are always in a bad mood overall. They also have little to no clue about Infozo and Infosians, and if they did, they would likely become even more enraged. Orgacs are a unique species, as they have no correlation with other species of glaggles at all. Despite their physical resemblance to glaggles, they aren't related, rather, they are experiments that went wrong. In 2012, a scientist by the name of Goldorg Fornbach challenged himself to make a machine that could create artificial glaggles. He built a device that he hoped would create the perfect replica of a giggler without reproducing. But over the course of 2 months, a major disaster happened while he was working on the experiment. The machine suddenly malfunctioned after his green poobab juice spilled down the cables, because he tripped on them while he was working. This caused the glaggle inside to turn into a different being with reddish skin and an angry facial expression. After a few minutes, the new creature immediately ran off. Goldorg told the authorities about the problem, but they shrugged it off as a joke, believing that there was no chance that the giggler would turn red. However, they were incorrect. After the discovery of Orgacs, the Glaggleland Health Association, or GHA for short, discovered that Orgacs are immune to Kita. The GI has shown great promise in developing a cure for the infectious disease, using Orgac cells. Research for a cure by just using Borgak cells is still ongoing. A prototype of the vaccine called Borged has been created and shown to have an 82% efficiency in preventing transmission and a 64% chance of lessening the infection severity. 97% of the patients administered the experimental vaccine did not progress to the final CADA stage at all. One major side effect that has been observed is the occurrence of major headaches after the patient is cured. It is unknown whether this is caused by the vaccine or the disease itself. The product is still being perfected, but early results are very promising. Scientists are hoping to use the vaccine to make CADA much less of a threat in Glaggelen's society. One major side effect that has been observed is the occurrence of major headaches after the patient is cured. It is unknown whether this is caused by the vaccine or the disease itself. The product is still being perfected, but early results are very
Glaggle, we stand tall, win that gold, show them all. Olympians with hearts of fire, reach the top, lift us higher. Farting in the spotlight bright, trolling mascots left and right. Farges can't handle our pride, watch us beat them side by side. Go Glaggle, let's make a noise. Outshine all those other boys. In the games we dominate. Troll the mascots, seal their fate. Chill out, no holding back. Farting champions on the track. Fridges crying in defeat. Glaggle can't be beat. Lift that flag, wave it high. See our banner touch the sky. Gold is ours, the aim is clear. Winning time for Glaggle cheer. Go Glaggle, let's make a noise. Outshine all those other boys. In the games we dominate. Troll the mascots, seal their fate. Let's make a noise. Outshine all those other boys. In the games we dominate. Troll the mascots, seal their fate.